one of my least interesting stupid hotel room webcam shots ever. I got you the corner of a picture hanging on the wall. And a little bit in the top right corner you can see a very small sliver of the hallway. Isn't it wonderful? So it's December, and at the beginning, well, it's not quite December. Today's November 30th, but I had to arrive early. So the first week of December means it is time for a pharmacy conference, American Society of Health System Pharmacists. This was, if you remember back, my longtime subscribers, Vlogmores from Anaheim and then New Orleans. And now we're in Las Vegas. Ooh, Las Vegas. And, yeah, I am extremely tired. I won't sound like it right yet, but we'll get to why in a moment. I had to leave on an early flight out of Fort Lauderdale. Now, the drive from West Palm Beach to Fort Lauderdale, it's like an hour. It's barely an hour. I think I did it in less than that. But my flight left at 7:30 in the morning from Fort Lauderdale. And so I had to make sure I got to the airport early. And normally, you know, they want you there 1 to 2 hours early. So I woke up at 4:15 and then started driving by about 4:30 and got there. Well, I got to the parking lot where I parked and then took a shuttle to the airport. And then I got to the gate and it was, you know, an hour or so early. So everything worked out perfectly. The problem was I got up at 4:15. I went to bed around 1 a.m. So it was not a good night. I got into bed about 12:30. I just wasn't tired. And so I got into bed and started playing Pokemon. It's never done it before, but I found that recently when I play Pokemon, it's always at the end of the day. I only want to play it when I can only play it for maybe 15-30 minutes at a time, just so it doesn't eat up all my time. And what had been happening was I'd play Pokemon and my body would be like, oh, this must mean it's time to go to sleep. And for whatever reason, last night it decided, oh, let's just play Pokemon. We can keep playing all night long. But, yeah, so very little sleep. I got a little bit of sleep on the plane. I remember the first time I got into my on-the-plane sleeping position, and I fell asleep, and I woke back up, and I looked at my watch, and I'm like, it has been maybe 15 minutes at the most. I felt like I had been out for a while. I was hoping it was a 5.5-hour flight. I got a direct flight. That's the reason why I flew out of Fort Lauderdale instead of Palm Beach. From Palm Beach, you're lucky if you can get one stop. You usually are looking at 2 stops and sometimes even 3. And I think I even saw a flight with 4 stops, which is ridiculous. But Fort Lauderdale had a direct flight to Vegas, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to take that. I'll get there in one go and not have to deal with anything. But yeah, 15 minutes was all I slept at that time. I fell asleep a couple other times, but I never slept for more than... well, I'm going to say I never slept for more than half an hour, but I don't think I ever even approached a half an hour at a time. So yeah, very tired. I got here to Vegas. It's a 3-hour time difference from Florida, so you know, I got here at 10 a.m. local time, tried to adjust to that, went out and had lunch, sat there while I was having lunch, and just drank soda after soda after soda while playing Pokemon, just kind of to kill time and to try and, well, drinking a bunch of soda so I could stay awake. And I got done with all that. And then I got back to my room, and I'm like, oh, it's got to be like 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I go back to the room. I unpack everything. I'm staying in the Excalibur. I don't know. I don't think I did a Vlogmore all the way back then. The only time I've ever been to Vegas before was back in 2006, 2007, somewhere in there. Back when I worked for the airline, I flew to Vegas. Well, I wanted to see the Blue Man Group, so I flew to Vegas and watched the Blue Man Group, stayed in the Excalibur for one night, and then flew back home the next morning. And I really liked my room, and the Excalibur is not an expensive hotel, so I decided to stay here again since I have the meeting. And it's nice. I got a room. My mom is going to come up from Phoenix and visit me while I'm here, so that's kind of nice too. I'll get to see her. I found out my brother had gone home for Thanksgiving. My brother and my sister-in-law went to visit my mom for Thanksgiving while I was stuck in Florida. But that's alright, because I'll see my mom now, and then I get to go home again for Christmas break. Anyway, you might have noticed there were no videos last weekend. This is a really weird, long Vlogmore, but we'll keep going with it. And that's because I had a whole bunch of stuff to do for the school and for this trip, so I really didn't have any time or energy to record anything then. I might barely be able to get a video right when I get back, because I'll get back from this trip on Thursday or Friday next week, and I might, depending on what all goes on, be able to do some next week. What else can I talk about real quick? The flight was fine. Everything went perfect. We actually got here faster than we were supposed to. My screen keeps dimming because I can't plug it in. The one thing I will complain about the Excalibur, the first time I came here, I didn't have a laptop or anything like that, so wireless internet didn't concern me. Well, the Excalibur has wired internet with a wire in the room. It's next to the TV, and I have it stretched. It's a pretty long wire because I have it stretched all the way across the room onto the bed to plug into the computer. Flight was good. Got here easily. Had Baja. I don't know what it is. If you go to a convention, there's going to be a Baja Fresh Mexican grill nearby. This is a requirement. You might remember, or you can go back and watch my videos from Anaheim. And I think I took some pictures and showed some pictures of my Baja Fresh shrimp salad that I got back then. And it was like, I think it was the first time I ever ate at a Baja Fresh, and I'm like, wow, this is a pretty good place. And now, when I was on rotation at ASU last year, around this time actually, in November into December, they had a Baja Fresh Express at ASU right by where the student pharmacy is. So I got to eat there a couple times. It was really good. They also have a smash burger. Man, I want a smash burger. That's a really good burger. So I ate my Baja Fresh. I went and, because it was only 2 o'clock, I went and walked all around Excalibur, past the Luxor, and then over into Mandalay Bay, which is where the conference is actually happening. The Mandalay Bay Convention Center, or yeah, I think Convention Center or Conference Center, whatever it is. If you've ever been to Vegas before, each individual hotel is as big as a convention center anyway. And then to have another convention center tacked on as well, it's ridiculously huge. And actually Mandalay Bay, if you look at there's the huge Mandalay Bay building, and then right next to it is a huge The Hotel at Mandalay Bay building. And then right next to that, there's the huge convention center at Mandalay Bay. And it's just like gigantic building after gigantic building. And of course there's the casino and all the shops and restaurants and stuff too. And you don't even go outside. This is all interconnected. You never have to leave a building to get through all of that, which is ridiculous. So that was fun. Then I came back to my room, watched some Fairly Odd Parents. Found out there's a Fairly Odd Parents movie with a live action Timmy who's actually like a grown man. That's scary and creepy. I only got to see like clips of it during commercials, but I don't know if I ever want to see the full movie. And then started to watch a YouTube video and I fell asleep. And then I woke up and I looked at my watch and it's 5:40. And I was only out for like half an hour, but I wanted to go to the Tournament of Kings, dun, da, 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 which is the special show they have at Excalibur. The last time I came to Vegas, it was to watch the Blue Man Group, as I said, so I didn't actually watch any of the shows at Excalibur. It's a cute show. It's very cheesy, is the word I'm going to use. If you've ever gone to like the Renaissance Fair or a Renaissance Festival and watched the joust there, you know exactly the kind of thing you're going to get. Here, there's a lot more people, and their costumes are really nice, and they've got like choreography and dance numbers and songs and stuff. So it's better than the Renaissance Festival kind of performance. Although I will say, the Arizona Renaissance Festival, their actual jousting is so much better than the Excalibur guys. Excalibur guys' actual jousting was terrible. On the other hand, their hand-to-hand combat was pretty good during the show pieces, when they had two people and they were deliberately putting on a show of doing one-on-one, man-to-man fighting. Other than that, though, oh my gosh, it is so cheesy. It's something kids would absolutely love. But the cool thing is, they get you so riled up. I got to sit in Russia. I was for Mother Russia. Man, I say that weird. Yeah, they have all the different kings, and so you can sit in the section for Ireland, Russia, Spain, Norway, Austria, Hungary, France, or the Evil Dragon Knight. And as all of your guys come around, you cheering them on. And the guy next to me was totally about slamming his hands on the table and yelling out, "Russia, Russia!" And I was right there with him, and we were just belting it as loud as we possibly could, making sure that we were cheering on our champion, as it were. So that was a lot of fun, and now I know as soon as that little bit of a high wears off, I'm going to collapse and fall asleep. As of right now, it's 7:45 p.m. I'm pretty sure that I will be asleep by 9, which is good because I have to be up by 6 a.m. Because I'm helping out with a competition that they have every year at this conference, and I have to show up for that at 7 o'clock in the morning. And when I went over to the conference center, I was specifically looking to see where the room I needed to go to was. And even taking the direct route, I mean, it's direct. You're cutting through the casinos. There's actually a tram, like a monorail, that takes you from Excalibur directly express to Mandalay Bay. It's still got to be like a mile walk. I have to imagine that's about as far as I had to walk to get around these places. So that's kind of ridiculous. But it's a much cheaper hotel. I pay half, got to be half or even less, to stay in Excalibur compared to what it would have cost me to stay in Mandalay Bay. And I think that's actually why I get reimbursed for my hotel room. They told me they were only going to reimburse half of the cost, and that would be if I was staying in one of the expensive convention official hotels, because they're expensive. They're costing you $200+ a night to stay there. But since I got the Excalibur and it's cheaper, they're going to probably, well, I already know because they approved it, they're going to reimburse me my whole amount, which is good because I have a gigantic charge on my credit card for plane ticket, hotel room, conference fees, all kinds of fun stuff. Had a bit of an issue. We're presenting posters at this conference, and then we're also representing our residency program. And so we the residents, got stuck with hauling the posters from school here. And we went to mail them. We wanted to mail them, so we went to the UPS store, put them into mailing tubes, and then to mail 2 tubes. Now, the tubes are 3.5 feet long, so they're not like little tubes. They're big tubes. And I think they're like 3 or 4 inches across in diameter. They wanted $100 to ship those 2 tubes. It was, of course, going to be 2-day shipping because our residency's presenting on Monday, and UPS doesn't ship Saturday or Sunday. So they would have Friday, and then they'd have to get it there Monday. So of course, it's going to be a premium cost for that kind of time constraint. But my gosh, and it wasn't even $50 a tube, because I said, what if I just tape the 2 tubes together? Then how much does it cost? And he's like, it would be $90. You'd save about $10. I'm like, that's ridiculous. So we had to take them as carry-on. And that kind of sucked because I had to carry my suit, which is in a garment bag, and I've got my jacket, my pants, and my 2 dress shirts that go with my suit, since I have to wear it 2 different days. And carrying that around, and I'm carrying it by the hangers, rather than, because I don't know if you're familiar with suit garment bags, but a lot of them will fold in half. But the problem is that can wrinkle the suit, so I hold them by the hangers, and then the suit hangs nice and flat the whole time. but it does a work on your hand. It really hurts your fingers to hold them like that, because suits are not lightweight. They're heavy. Oh, now I'm just rambling. Well, if I'm going to ramble, let me ramble about one other thing. Since I already did a review of the other two third season My Little Pony videos, the last one that came out was episode 4, which was a bad apple, which was just... It's a Cutie Mark Crusader episode, so I can forgive them a lot of things, but that accent was so terrible. And it goes along with kind of like what I mentioned with the Crystal Ponies is there wasn't as much build up for the character. The whole lesson that they were trying to show, the fact that spoilers, I guess, the fact that you know, she was becoming a bully because she was bullied herself, and so the chance to be, you know, on the popular kid's side, so she jumped at it. They didn't establish it very well. It just came out of nowhere, you know, most of the way through the episode, and it's like, oh, well, now we all feel bad. So I think, you know, even like a flashback or something, or maybe they had like a brief audio flashback. I've only seen the episode once, so I'm not recalling it perfectly. The other thing was, today's Friday. It's almost 8 o'clock at night. I'm sure, I don't think we get the hub here in the hotel. But I do know that the next episode that's coming out features my favorite, Trixie. I love Trixie. I remember having a conversation with Tioman back when he visited me in Texas in May, I believe. Might have been the end of April, somewhere in there. And I told him in Season 3 they better bring back Trixie. And he said no, because he doesn't like Trixie. And I'm like, no, Trixie's an awesome villain, and there was so much more they can do. And what they need to do, and this is exactly what I told him, I said they need to have her come back all kinds of upset because Twilight Sparkle showed her up in her own game and had better magic, so she went and she finds some other source of magic or power, and she comes back and challenges Twilight Sparkle. I said that episode needs to happen next season. And I haven't watched any of the clips, but just the thumbnails on YouTube that show Trixie coming back to challenge Twilight Sparkle, if that is an actual legit clip of an episode and not just some kind of like fan-made video that went viral, I have no clue. But if it is, I called it. I called it months and months ago. And if people knew that that episode existed months and months ago, I didn't, because I don't follow like Equestria Daily or any of those other fan sites. They're not on my radar. But yeah, I called it, and I'm happy, and I can't wait to watch the episode with Trixie being a little bit more... Well, actually, she was a very one-dimensional type of character, but she at least had a lot more development to her in what she did and how she acted. So that's fun. Yeah, tomorrow I'm going to spend the whole dang day doing that clinical skills competition, and then in the evening is when I'm expecting my mom to arrive, so we'll probably go out to dinner, and then Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday I have conference duties. Let me think. Monday I'm presenting, Tuesday I'm going to the showcase, and Wednesday I'm presenting again. So Sunday's kind of a free day. That's pretty nice. Oh well. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I think I shared my... No, I didn't. I got a Lilligant. I'm happy. So you can trade for Lilligant in Pokemon Black and White 2. Well, in Black 2, you can trade a Cottony for Petalil. And then she is the strongest member of my team. She's stronger than my starting Pokemon because she gets boosted XP. And she totally owned the Electric Gym. All 5 of my other Pokemon were knocked unconscious, and she soloed the gym. Because she's awesome, and I love her. But I didn't get to name her, so her name's Petulia. But that's fine. It's a cool name. As soon as she learns Petal Dance, it's all over. That's the only Pokemon I ever need. She can even tank like Blitzel using Flame Charge. Doesn't even phase her. She takes like... It's super effective, and it does maybe a quarter of her health and damage. It was awesome. Oh well. Until next time. Bye-bye.